Welcome to Queers Queries.
Where these queers
answer life's queries.
Ours
and hopefully
yours. Did you even say yours?
I said yours.
So today on Queers Queries,
we're
talking about taking a mental health... Why are you licking my foot? We're talking about taking a mental health break. So last week we didn't film a video because I had some family things that I had to deal with, and this one's had a rough go at it lately. So didn't film a video, took a mental health break from that, and then one of our viewers suggested we talk about that and what we do. I think what we do to take mental health breaks, and maybe give some pointers about what you guys can do when you need a mental health break. One thing that stands out in my mind, Amory, is you were talking about one time you were hosting a party with your family, and it was a very stressful situation, and the things that you did when you needed to, when it was getting to be too much.
Yeah, we had a huge house full of people, and it was loud and crazy, and there was just so much, and I was already feeling super overwhelmed. And so I would say probably every 20 or 30 minutes I'd go upstairs to our bedroom and just lay face down on the bed for like a minute or two. Literally take a break. Like, just walk away. I am the kind of person that used to push myself way too hard and
not know when to bow out of a situation.
Yeah, and now I know when to say no, and I know how much is too much, so I don't have nearly as many mental breakdowns as I used to.
Well, hey, that's a big
Progress.
positive. Well, and I think, we talk about a little bit, and you've talked about in the past, Brené Brown, and how important it is to set boundaries. And I think, setting those boundaries with the people in your life, saying like, when it comes to that point where this is all that I can take, this is what I have to do. And there's nothing bad or wrong about it. I know how useless I am when I have pushed myself too hard and I've reached that point where I can't do anything anymore. I hit that moment where my body freezes.
And you just physically can't.
And I physically can't even move. And it's important to stop yourself
before you
get there. Because once you've gotten there, there's no easy way out of that. And it's harder on you, and it's harder on everyone around you.
Distress tolerance is definitely key, like knowing the signs, your physical signs, when you're feeling overwhelmed or needing a minute. Because I feel like everybody has tells, and I feel like I'm really good at picking up on other people's tells, but not as much. I'm not as in tune to my own.
I think part of it, for me at least, is knowing that is the constant, I should be able to do this. Like, I should be fine. I should be able to do this. Why can't I do this? Like, I should be able to push through it. For the longest time, I didn't recognize my own anxiety and depression for what it was, because I was working so hard to try and just get myself out of it by talking down to myself and telling me that I should be doing better. Why can't I do better? Just do better. And then pushing myself too hard for too long. One thing that Hannah Hart said in one of her videos a long time ago is that if you are only feeling 20%, then only do 20%. Nope. Whoa. Well, that was exciting. If you're feeling 20%, then don't try and do 100%. only do 20%. You know, like today I was definitely not feeling 100%. And, you know, I still did my job, but I would take those breaks where I just have to sit back and I'd have to take a second and take some breaths, or I'd have to get up and, you know, take a lap around the office and, you know, get my head together. And if that's what it takes, then that is what you have to do. There was one day when I first started my job that I left work because I had a panic attack. And then I just like sat at work and just cried for like 30 minutes. Came back, was still crying. And my boss came over and was like, "Hey, do you need to go home?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't think I can be here right now." And went home. She called me and she was like, "Hey, so do you want to talk about it?" And I was like, "You know, I've got really bad anxiety and depression and all that, and today was just one of those days where I couldn't deal." And she was like, "Well, I'm really glad that you told me that, because now I can kind of understand where you're at if you're having a day." You know, I think it's important to communicate things like that if you feel comfortable with your superiors, to let them know that.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, so that way they're not perceiving you as someone who's just being
Just
lazy or
doesn't feel like working.
just doesn't want to work. Or, you know, when I'm at home, it's easier for me to take mental breaks, and that's something that I struggle with for a long time too. Is thinking that like all of the housework needs to be done all the time at this minute, and that it's not done, and that's freaking me out and upsetting me, and then it sends me spiraling.
Sometimes it's easier to make short-term goals. Like if you know, hey, I need to do A, B, and C, and then put a break in there. Like by 10 o'clock, I really want to get all the dishes done and unloaded and put away and all of that. By 11 o'clock, I want to make sure the house is vacuumed. And at noon, I'm going to break for lunch. I'm going to get a lunch break. I'm going to watch a little TV. I'm going to eat my food.
And then I'm going to start again.
And then I'm going to get back to it. It's just too much pressure.
So anyway, what mental health breaks are important?
Physical health breaks are important too.
Like mind, body, and soul.
When it was nice, when it's nice and warm, I eat my lunch outside. That's the best, quietest place, because I found like a couple of secret spots.
Nice.
Where I can just like sit in the sun and no one talks to me. And I just like, I've napped out there. And sometimes I'll meditate, sometimes I'll listen to music. And it is a game changer for the rest of my day. It's James! That's pretty much all I got.
Yeah. So, like,
subscribe,
and ring the bell to get notifications of our future videos. We need your queries.
Queries.
We need things to talk about, and we want to know what you want us to talk about. So please leave comments below or on our various social media platforms.
Hopefully next week I will be upright. So boundaries. Speaking of boundaries, today I set a boundary at work. I said, I can only throw up 3 times at work. Number 4 is my limit.
That's a great boundary to have.
Yeah, if I throw up a 4th time, I will go home.
Your puke boundary?
My puke boundary.
Oh my goodness.
My puke limit.
And as always, stay
queer.
Or queer adjacent. Ugh.